So you're exploring the idea of moving to San Diego, California, and you started your research for the best family-friendly neighborhoods here in San Diego, and you're totally overwhelmed because you have found that there's over 100 neighborhoods, and add to that stress, affordability, and now you're just completely overwhelmed. Friend, you have come to the right place because in this video, I am going to be sharing with you 5 top family-friendly neighborhoods here in San Diego, and I'm going to be giving you a little bit of a 31 flavors mix, meaning I'm going to be sharing a walkable beach community with you, a couple of great suburbs, both close to the city and a little bit more inland, and we're going to end up in a nice rural mountain community. Yes, there's a cute mountain community here, right here in San Diego that's only 30 miles from the city. So you're going to really get a range of what you can get for your money and the kind of lifestyle that each neighborhood affords you. And I'm so passionate about getting into this video with you today because not only am I a San Diego real estate agent, but I'm also a mom, so I totally get the needs and wants of a family wanting to live that perfect, amazing, sunny San Diego beach life with your family. So we're gonna get after it right now. Welcome back to the channel where we help families looking for more space, ease, and a better quality of life move to San Diego from the beaches to the burbs. My name is Emily. I'm a local real estate agent and a mom, and every day I get calls, texts, and voicemails from people just like you looking to make their move here in San Diego. So if this is you and you are thinking about making a move, head down to the description below where you can find all my contact information, and there's a link to click and schedule your call so that I can help you make a smooth move too. All right, I'm really excited to dive into this topic with you today because as a mom raising boys ages 8 and 10, I think San Diego is one of the best places to raise a family. The weather is great all year round. It's January 2024 today, and I took this video outside because I wanted to show you what beautiful weather we have. And it's not just about avoiding snowstorms and cold days. It's really having these warm year-round days, even when it's cooler. You can still get out. Our plans never get canceled because of weather. Rarely. You know, today in January is a great day to go down to the beach. I mean, you may not be going surfing or, well, you can go surfing if you have a wetsuit, but you may not be going for a swim or anything like that, but you certainly can go down to the boardwalk and ride your bike or just take a stroll and eat outdoors most of the time. It's just, the lifestyle here is epic. From the mountains to the beaches, hiking trails, just all kinds of activities. We have lakes here, so we've got lake life, boat life, fishing, water sports, surfing, obviously. I can go on and on. But this is a really great place to raise a family, but there are so many different types of neighborhoods, and there isn't one perfect neighborhood because I am gonna preface this video that I'm sure there's gonna be a lot of comments in here saying you missed this neighborhood or that neighborhood. This is a top-rated school neighborhood, and that's the beauty of San Diego. There are far more than 5 great neighborhoods here to raise a family. I've just narrowed it down to these 5. We are focusing on central San Diego County as a whole. What is most important to you is going to vary from family to family. Some families, being in a great school district is really important, while with other families, they could care less about the school district because they're going to go private school anyways, and they're more interested in, you know, affordability or maybe the lifestyle that neighborhood affords you. Maybe you're up in the mountains, maybe you're looking for something rural, maybe it's really important to be walking distance to the beach. So everyone is gonna have their hot spots, and in this video I'm gonna give you a little bit of flavor of everything. All right, first on the list is Pacific Beach, known to the locals as PB. And any local person here is gonna think I'm out of my mind for listing Pacific Beach as one of the top 5 neighborhoods to raise a family, but let me explain. PB, it's a huge college party town. You've got young professionals, college kids, and it's definitely a vacation destination for the younger crowd that is down to party. We have a couple main streets that are just lined with bars and restaurants. That is Garnett. And yes, it is a party town. It's where I moved to when I moved from LA down to San Diego. I was in my late 20s and I wanted to live in a walkable party scene where I could jump on the beach cruiser and get anywhere. And that's what PB is. But there are also 3 amazing communities for families in Pacific Beach, and that's what we're gonna get into today, are those communities and also the lifestyle for a family, because there is so much more to do than party on Garnett. You've got the beach, the boardwalk, the Mission Bay with all the water sports you can do on there. You've got hiking trails nearby. It's so centrally located. If you are someone who travels often and needs to be close to the airport, it's a 10-minute Uber ride to the airport, 15-minute Uber ride to downtown. So if you want to get away and go into the nightlife, it's so close. You're just south of La Jolla, so you can just pop into La Jolla if you want to do a little bit more of a bougie vibe. There's amazing, beautiful beaches there, but there are some really great, obviously, restaurants and farmers market in La Jolla too. So La Jolla is your neighbor. So there's just a ton to do lifestyle day-to-day wise, and PB has a really tight-knit community as well. There's obviously the crowd that's there just for their college years and then they're gonna move on, but there are families that have lived there for years and decades. And that community is super tight-knit. There are events going on year-round. Every month, I feel like there's something really fun going on. They close down Garnett for multiple parades throughout the year. They've got a Polish parade. They have the PB block parties, PB Beach Fest. They do a Santa parade. There's just stuff going on all the time. They have an amazing farmers market. So it's great for community. There's tons to do as far as outdoor activities go. Lots and lots of great restaurants and cafes, not just for young people, but definitely some really good food for the foodies. So let's talk about real estate prices. PB is not cheap, but what beach community is. So in Pacific Beach, you can get into a condo for about $1 million. A good sized townhome for a family is gonna cost you between 1.2 and 1.3 million. And again, I'm saying family, so we're talking about 2 and 3 bedroom, 2 bathrooms with space. There are definitely cottages and bungalows for 700,000-800,000, but that we're talking either studios or 1 bedroom, 1 bathroom. So if that's what you're looking for, we've got it. But your average home is gonna be closer to 2 million to 2.5 million. And once you get up to Mount Soledad, your average home is about 2.5 to 3.5 million, depending on the views and the size of the home. So what if you wanna be close to the beach? You still wanna be close to things like the airport and the zoo and Balboa Park and all the amazing things that make San Diego, San Diego, but you can't afford a $2 million house. Most people can't. Welcome to Claremont. Claremont is where a lot of people move once they settle down and they've met in PB or maybe Bay Park and they're ready to buy. They start moving east and end up in Claremont. So in Claremont, you've got a family-friendly neighborhood. It's definitely suburban. It's got your traditional shopping centers with your Targets and Home Depots and all your chain restaurants. It also has some locally owned small businesses there, but it's definitely more of that suburban shopping center vibe. The thing about Claremont is you're only 15 minutes to the beach and about 10 minutes to Mission Bay. So you haven't really gone that far away from the beach. You don't need to get on the freeway to get to the beach. You don't even need to get to the freeway to actually go down to the airport if you don't want to. There are surface streets you can take. So if you're still looking for that 15-minute Uber ride away from everything, you're gonna find it in Claremont. But you're gonna be able to buy a house in Claremont for about 1 million as a starter home or a fixer-upper and a totally beautiful turnkey home. It's gonna be about 1.3 to 1.4, depending on the size and the amenities. Does it have a pool? Does it have a view? Now I get it. If you're not from Southern California, 1.3, 1.4 doesn't sound like a good deal. But when you're 15 minutes from the beach in Southern California, that's a really good price point. Now let's talk about schools for Claremont. Claremont has a ton of schools. They have some really great rated schools. They have charter schools and private schools, so you don't have to go far to find a good education. I have the link to niche.com below where you can do your own vetting of schools. And if you have any questions or need guidance on that, please reach out to me. But Claremont has a ton of options when it comes to schools, from homeschool charters to traditional charters and even a Hebrew charter school. And they've got the regular public schools. Holmes Elementary is rated a 10. It's one of the top rated elementary schools in California. That's right here in Claremont. So education, Claremont has a lot of options for you. I would say Claremont is, a little bit more of a sleepier neighborhood. There's nothing going on at night. There's not like really cool trendy bars or restaurants in Claremont. But the thing is that you're, 10 minutes away from North Park and Little Italy and even PB or La Jolla. So you have easy access to, trendy restaurants, fine dining, whatever your vibe is, close enough to bars, but you are in a family-friendly neighborhood, which is really appealing to a lot of families. You wanna be just far enough away where you can dip into the nightlife or the party scene. Your kids are living in a nice suburban area where it's, soccer moms and parks everywhere, and it's just a more chill pace of life, and that's what Claremont gets you. All right, next on the list is La Mesa. La Mesa is our first city in East County, San Diego that we're covering. We are now about 15 to 20 minutes east of the beaches and downtown. So now you're needing to get on the freeway to get around to these popular destinations, but really you're not that far. You're still within 15 minutes, but you're moving to La Mesa because you're looking maybe for more family-friendly vibes, more tight-knit community. It's definitely a lot more green and nature. There's hiking and parks. There's Lake Murray and Mission Trails nearby. And La Mesa has amazing, beautiful parks with old mature trees. And I feel like the weekends are just filled with kids and their soccer games. It's very much family friendly. But the cool thing about La Mesa is it's not just one of those suburbs that just has strip malls and strip mall restaurants and stores and shops. It actually has a really cute downtown village that has local small businesses with trendy restaurants and bars. So you kind of have the option of both. Like if you want to go to your, typical chain restaurant with a family because it's easy, you've got it. You've got the shopping centers and you've got a mall. But if you're looking for something more trendy and hip and fun and local and not a chain, you don't have to go into the city. You've got a downtown village right in your backyard, which is amazing. So let's talk about the homes in La Mesa. Real estate really varies depending on where you are. So if you're kind of like close to the village in the walkable area, those homes were built in the 40s and they tend to be smaller, around 1,000 square feet, 2-3 bedrooms, 1 or 2 bathrooms, smaller lots, and they're really close together and they're really charming. So if you're looking for something flat and walkable and charming, you've got the homes near the village, and those start at around $750,000 and can top off around $950 to $1 million if fully renovated. Now, if you go a little bit outside of that area, and then you've got communities like Lake Murray and Fletcher Hills, and those communities were really built out in the 70s and 80s, and those homes tend to be larger homes, larger lots, larger price tags, but those homes have beautiful views as well because they're all built on a hillside, and that those properties kind of run between 1.2, 1.3, can go all the way up to 1.5 million depending on the renovations and views and the amenities in the back, like does it have a pool and all that kind of fun stuff. And you're really close to Mission Trails, which is amazing hiking. Mission Trails has over 60 trailheads. So if you're someone who likes to go walk your dog through the trails, or you and your kids, or even mountain biking, you're gonna be like within 5-10 minutes of Mission Trails, which is awesome. And then of course you've got Lake Murray nearby, which is a great place to host birthday parties or just take your, again, kids or a dog walk along the lake. It's just really cool to be 15 minutes away from the city and have a lake and hiking trails right in your backyard. It just makes it super convenient, yet you have the downtown village with all the cool bars and restaurants. So it makes for a really great area to raise a family. All right, before we go on, I have a question for you. We are about halfway through the cities, and I want to know what's most important to you. Do you want to live really close to everything that makes San Diego amazing, like the beaches and downtown and all the attractions like Balboa Park and the zoo and SeaWorld and all things San Diego? Or are you more interested in finding a really great sleepy suburb that is, 15 to 30 minutes away from the attractions, but you kind of want to be away from it? You're looking for a little bit more of a quiet suburban feel, more affordable? Or are you in the camp that could care less about the things that make San Diego famous, and you're just really wanting a nice, safe community with an amazing school district so you don't have to worry about private school, and you don't care how far away you are from the beach or downtown? Those things don't matter to you. You are coming here because you are just looking for a better quality of life and amazing schools. Tell me in the comments, which camp are you in? All right, next up is Santi. Santi is also in East County, San Diego, and what sets Santi apart from all the other communities we're talking about today is affordability. It is the most affordable city out of all the neighborhoods we're talking about today. It is also just about 10 minutes east of La Mesa, so now we're getting a little bit more further east. It's hotter in Santi because we've moved away from the beach. You're now about 20 to 30 minutes from the beach, depending on traffic, but it is just a straight shot down the 52 freeway straight into La Jolla. So you're really close to La Jolla, which is one of the most beautiful beaches in all of California. You're about 15 minutes away from UTC Mall, which is amazing, but you're nestled in this quiet little sleepy suburb of Santi, and Santi has some really good shopping. So when I was talking about La Mesa, I mentioned how La Mesa has its, it's got its nice, cute downtown village, but it also has its shopping centers. A lot of families like to go into Santi to do their shopping over sticking in La Mesa because it's just easier in Santi. It feels sometimes less congested. It's a more suburban in Santi. Santi has the Santi Trolley Shopping Center with all your shops and restaurants. It's one-stop shop. It's got your Targets and all the other chain stores that go along with it and the chain restaurants. super convenient. But it also actually has a trolley stop. And why that's cool is that trolley stop can take you to Snapdragon and Mission Valley to catch either sports games or concerts, or you can take that same trolley downtown to Petco, where you can watch a Padres game or concerts, or just get down to downtown for whatever thing that you're into that night or day. So you've got the trolley station, so you don't have to Uber or drive if you don't want to. So I think that's pretty cool. Santi is also super family friendly. So if you don't have a family and you don't have kids, and maybe you're not older and retired and wanting a slower pace of life, you're probably not going to want to live in Santi because there's not a lot going on. But it is great for families. You've got all your little leagues and sports and tons of parks, lots of hiking trails. Because we're close to La Mesa, you have the same access to Mission Trails hiking, and you've got rock climbing, and it's surrounded by mountains. Great schools in Santi. People also move into Santi for the schools, so make sure to check out niche.com. I've got the link below so you can vet out the schools. And again, if you have any questions, my contact information is below. You can send me an email, a text, call me, text me, schedule a Zoom with me so that I can answer any questions you have. But Santi is affordable, so you can get into a great family starter home, a 3-bedroom home. I just sold one for $725,000. It was a 3-bedroom, 1 bathroom, 1,000 square feet. So yes, it is small, but it has a nice backyard. It's a great neighborhood, very family friendly focused. And then if you're looking for a regular full size, we'll call it a full size home, something that's between 1,200 and 1,500 square feet, turnkey, you can get into that in Santi for about $850,000 to $1 million, which is much lower than we were in Claremont. So the trade-off is that you're further inland, but a lot of families don't want to be close to the city and the beaches because it does get more congested. So if you're looking for a slower pace of life, something more suburban, very family friendly, not a lot going on at night, but you don't care because that's not in the season of life you're in anymore, or for now, and you don't want to be near the beaches and the city because it does get congested and it is very busy and it is more expensive. Santi is a really great alternative. You're, adding a commute of maybe half an hour to 45 minutes, depending on where you need to go during rush hour. And during the weekend, getting down to the beach, you're less than 30 minutes away. So you're still close to everything, but you're close to these mountains, you're close to hiking and biking and tons of parks. You're close to the lakes and lakeside, so there's still a ton to do. Again, very family friendly. You got all your shopping nearby, so you don't need to go into town per se. So if you're in that season of life and you don't want to spend $1.5 million for a house or even $1 million for a house, check out Santi. All right, before we get to our last community, I want to let you know that I have videos on all these communities that we talked about. You can check out my series on Pacific Beach here, and I did a whole series on Claremont here, and I even have a series on La Mesa. And I've done the pros and cons of these neighborhoods. I've taken you through neighborhood tours and showed you homes in these areas and different price points. So you really kind of get a feel of what life looks like here, what the shopping centers look like here, what the schools look like here. So if you're interested in any of these communities, make sure to check out that series. All right, did I save the best for last? That all depends on if you are into mountain living or rural living or wanting a slower pace of life, because we are talking about Alpine, and that's where we ended up. We started in PB. Literally, one of my homes that I lived in PB was like right in Mission Beach. You can't get closer to the water than Mission Beach. And we went from there, and now we've ended up all the way in Alpine. But Alpine really, even though it sounds like it's really far away, it's only 30 miles from the beach in downtown San Diego, right off the 8 freeway. So we don't feel like we moved too far, although our friends ask us if it snows in Alpine. They welcome us back into town when we go to a party. It's only 30 miles away. And no, it doesn't snow. It has rarely, but it's more of, it's not dumps. It's not dumps of snow. It's just a powder layer. But it's only 3,000 feet high in elevation. It's not that high, but it's a small, quaint mountain town. And so what really got us out here is not only the slower pace of life we could offer our kids, but also your money goes so much further here. You can live in a beautiful community, beautiful home for about 1.2 to 1.3 million. I'm talking what would be considered a luxury home in places like Claremont or PB, but because it's out here 30 miles east and a little mountain town, you can get a luxury build for about 1.5 million. Now, most people aren't looking to spend 1.5 million, but you can, for 800,000 to about $1 million, get a really great house on acreage. There's horse properties, there's HOA communities that have more traditional subdivision type neighborhoods. You really have a choice of what kind of area you want to be in. If you want to still have that kind of city feel where you have sidewalks and driveways and neighbors on both sides and you're not so secluded, there's neighborhoods like that, Deer Creek and the Highlands, to mention a few. If you are wanting rural community, you want space and privacy, and you don't want to see your neighbors, there are many areas that have properties with acreage that you can get into for about $800,000-900,000. I'm talking about a 2,000 square foot house with a pool on an acre. You can get view homes like this. You can get luxury builds. You can get small condos. There is a lot of different types of housing in Alpine, so don't think of it like just a country bumpkin type of neighborhood or community. There really is. There's something for everyone in Alpine. All right, let's talk schools. People wonder, do they have schools in Alpine? Well, they do. They don't have a high school, but they do have a couple of elementary schools. They actually have one charter elementary school. They've got Boulder Oaks, which is a regular elementary school, and then they have a Spanish immersion elementary school where the kids only speak Spanish at school. So they're learning all their subjects in Spanish, which is really cool if that's something that you're looking into. So you have that in right here in Alpine. That has a junior high as well, McQueen Junior High, but unfortunately the town isn't large enough to have its own high school. So the high school for Alpine is Granite Hills, which is a great school, and it's got an amazing football program too. So again, if you want more information on these, head down to niche.com and check them out and reach out to me with your questions. But Alpine is just got this small, quaint vibe. There's no big box chain stores. So, you know, the only kind of chain stores they have are like 3 fast food places. So it's like there's a Carl's Jr., a McDonald's, and a Subway. And they're putting in a Jack in the Box, and the town fought it because they really just want local small businesses in Alpine. They don't want it to turn into what these other like Santi at one point was a very small rural type of community, and now it's like shopping centers everywhere. So they're really trying to preserve Alpine and keep it this quaint town. There's no Targets, nothing like that. So what you need to do any of those type of shoppings, you go what they call down the hill, which is again just off the 8 freeway, which runs east and west. You can take the 8 straight to the beach, but if you take it down the hill 10 minutes, you're in El Cajon, and you've got your Target, your Home Depot, all your big box stores, your Walmart. It's not that far away, but when you're tucked away into your sleepy town, there's never traffic, there's never congestion. People say, well, what is there to do in Alpine? There isn't much to do, but there's a lot of outdoor activities. So we have places like Flint Springs Park, and if you go out a little bit further east, there's Viejas, which is at the tail end of Alpine. Viejas is a hotel and casino, and they across the street have a outlet store, and at that outlet store, there's a huge pavilion with teepees. So in the summertime, it's a big splash pad for kids to play, so that's super fun. There's a bowling alley in there. There's a outdoor skating ring, and in the wintertime, they ice it and make it into an ice skating ring. It's where the locals go to see their 4th of July fireworks. So there is stuff to do, but again, it's like small town vibes. We don't have any real bougie restaurants. You just got to go into town for that. There's no real bars. Everything shuts down. In fact, I think there's only 2 restaurants open on Mondays. So all these things were a little bit of a culture shock to me when we first moved here, but I also find so endearing, and I love it. So Alpine is for you if you are looking for a slower pace of life, maybe just for a season. I think for me and my husband, it's a season while we raise our kids. This is where we want to be. We want to get them out of like the hustle and bustle and all the craziness that's going in the world, and we just feel like we've moved back 30 years in time when we moved here to Alpine, where everything is just slow paced, but we still want to have access to the beaches and downtown and nightlife and amazing restaurants and, you know, brunch on the harbor in San Diego. We don't want to be far away from any of that. So we're kind of like living the best of both worlds. Get to be rural without moving to the middle of the country or the Midwest, and we get to live in one of the best cities in the country without living in the city. So that's Alpine for you. If you're thinking about making a move in a week, a month, or a year, give me a call, shoot me a text, send me a message. Better yet, my favorite, head to the link below and just schedule a Zoom call with me. I want to talk to you. Make sure to check out my series here on Santi, where I do the pros and cons, a map video, and take you through town. And make sure to check out the series on Alpine, where I cover the same information so you can get a better feel of what these communities look like.